Next up, the Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup, another one that we've been looking forward to. Another one I'm sure Greg, Hampton alumni will be looking forward to. Hampton School on the right-hand side of your picture, Shrewsbury School on the left-hand side of your picture, and it's a classic schoolboy match-up here, Greg.
A classic schoolboy match-up indeed. It's a young crew from Hampton, and you can see they've wandered away from the island as well. That could be a bit of wind, maybe a bit of stream, but you want to say tucked in as much as you can. You just see a little bit of blades being caught in that Hampton boat. Again, just towards the top of the island there, the water just gets a little bit more poppily. It's probably just affected the Hampton crew a little bit, but they're going to need as much connection as they can, or they're going to get outpowered by this Shrewsbury crew.
Yeah, well, again, Shrewsbury 5th at the National Schools Regatta this year. They were in the A final. Hampton 18th at the National Schools Regatta, so in the C final. So, again, on paper and on performance, if these crews have stayed the same, we would be expecting Shrewsbury School to triumph here. But, yeah, they've made a good start here. They're under the control in Shrewsbury School of Ollie Toms, who, lovely fact, his sister is actually coxing for the Shrewsbury Girls 8 that are in the new Junior Women's 8s event. So 2 coxes, brother and sister, coxing both the first 8s for Shrewsbury.
That's brilliant, isn't it? Let's hope the proud parents get to come and enjoy that. As we see Ollie Toms there on cue, taking a look back over his shoulder, and he'll like what he sees, which is distance opening up still between Shrewsbury and Hampton School on the Buckinghamshire station.
Well, again, I know you've got sort of alma mater, connections to Hampton. I myself actually do in the Shrewsbury School boat, because in the 5 seat is Fred Tyler, the Stratford-upon-Avon Boat Club junior, who got a scholarship to Shrewsbury. He's now in the middle of this crew, now captain of Shrewsbury boats, and yeah, learnt to row at my own home club, Stratford-upon-Avon. So I bumped into his mum earlier, was saying how excited she was to be here, and this crew is a good, exciting lineup. Look, they've taken the rate right down, and very strong indeed.
Yeah, looking very strong in that Shrewsbury crew. What a great experience, I guess, to start rowing at Stratford and then move on to I guess, moving up to Shrewsbury and Scarlett and taking his rowing there.
Well, the rate has come down in the Shrewsbury School boat. They're just trying to avoid any disasters here. They're not even at Revenham yet. Now we're going to get some glimpses here of the Hampton School crew. They're much higher in rating, even to the sort of, anyone's eye. You can see that they're punching up at higher strokes per minute. And like you say, Greg, a younger crew, that tends to be the sort of tactic from less experienced athletes, less mature racers, is that more strokes equals quicker, and that's not necessarily the case.
Well, yeah, they're at 35 strokes a minute and just trying to keep it moving. You don't want it to get heavy, but it's that combination, of course, of how many strokes a minute you're doing, how long the strokes are, and how powerful they are. And I guess what you can see from Shrewsbury is that they're taking fewer strokes, but they're actually just covering a little bit more distance every stroke, and just being able to really sort of assert themselves on Hampton here, down at about 27 strokes a minute. And it's just sort of distance per stroke and power that's keeping them moving nicely away.
So Shrewsbury are just cruising down, able to come back at anything that Hampton throws at them. Hampton, again, we were talking earlier about in the singles race, extracurricular activities and things that some of the athletes like to do. I must point out that in the Hampton crew, Jake Green, who sits in the 6th seat, has accomplished one of the most impressive things that I know in cycling, which is Everesting. Do you know what Everesting is?
No, tell me about Everesting. I could have a guess, but go on.
So Everesting is climbing over 10,000 metres in one single ride, in one single bike ride. So Jake Green, who sits in the 6th seat for Hampton, currently behind Shrewsbury, has done that, and what an achievement. I mean, I can barely climb 1,000 metres of elevation when I'm out on the bike.
Well, I guess lockdown has caused a lot of people to train at home when we haven't been able to get out in the water. So taking on these challenges has been one of the ways that athletes have tried to keep themselves focused, keep setting some goals that they can break down and knock off. And I guess, yeah, 10,000 metres in one sitting, wow.
Well, it's Shrewsbury School still. Shrewsbury School still, we see leading the backs of that crew in the navy blue and white. and just beautiful to listen. You can hear the blades coming in and out of the water. That's what I love about 8. And these close-up drone shots, we can see every little bit of movement that this crew are doing. They just look so long, don't they?
They do look long, and they've got a little sit at the finish where they just let the boat sit still, and then they come back to it. So they just sort of finish the stroke and almost just sit still, and the boat just really comes under them nicely, which really allows them to do nothing which is going to slow it down when they make those changes of direction. Because of course it's the change in direction where you kick the boat in the wrong direction where you can slow it down. Obviously it's a bit easier when you're at 25 strokes a minute than when you're at 35 strokes a minute.
Yeah, it's and again you can see the difference here as we go to the Hampton School crew. But like we say, they're a young crew. They've got plenty of time to learn the craft, to learn how to sort of treat the boat so it does the work for you. And I'm sure we'll see a lot of these Hampton School boys back again. And Shrewsbury School, well, they'll probably go on to face Westminster in tomorrow's draw. Yeah, they're trying to conserve energy because that will be another very close race.
There will be a close race, and these boys, most of them are 18, most of them in their upper 6th. They've stuck it out now till the middle of August. They've come through, they've come to Henley because they want to keep progressing, they want to make it through to the weekend. They want to be racing to win the Princess Elizabeth Cup. And so here we are, a good step on the journey for Shrewsbury School. They'll be pleased to have this race out of the way, and then we wanted to head home and get some rest.
Yeah, one last look from Ollie Toms in the cot seat for Shrewsbury to make sure that the Hampton were far enough back for them to paddle over the line at 23 strokes a minute. And it's going to be Hampton School who've spent a lot of energy there. Their final race of the regatta, they've thrown everything at it, but there are your victors at Shrewsbury School in the Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup heat.